I'm Eric Avery, and this is Rehearsal Space. I had fantasies, I played along with Kiss records and thought of one day being a rock musician. But in terms of it becoming a job, that sort of wasn't even a concept to me growing up. I guess it was really just falling in with Perry. And that happened through a mutual friend of ours. She actually asked me if I had seen Perry's old band, Psychom. And I said yes. I had, and she asked me what I thought, and I said, I think that they blow. She said, well, they're just looking for a bass player. And at that point I went, well, what do I have to lose? It's a cool scene of people, and he seems like an interesting guy. So I hooked up with Perry, and he wound up leaving that band, and then together we started Jane's. So. I never really expected it to be as big as it got. Like, it had just become this enormous thing that I no longer had any sort of creative feel for, let alone any control over, and I was just standing by watching this huge thing go by, and I just was sitting at the back of the van just going, I don't know, I'm just not feeling this anymore. So I left. I went through a period where I was really not sure what my role in music was going to be. My interest in computers and technology actually, in a roundabout way, led me back to music. I just got curious. I then started to tinker with stuff, and then tinkering led to recording, and then tinkering led to looping and sampling at home, and stuff that only engineers had done for me before. And that's where Help Wanted was actually born out of that process. I have political concerns and thoughts about life that inform my work, and it comes through my work, but I've never felt like I wanted to tell somebody how to think. What I've always thought that I was doing or hoped to do was asking people to ask themselves about how they think. I just think that I see a lot of people telling each other about what they should and shouldn't think. That's, I think, how people get into arguments rather than conversations, and so I think the most sort of effective way to help the world is to just get people to look at the decisions they make. The title of the record was born from, frustration with what was going on globally, and there seeming to be a lack of any sort of voice of dissent in the country at the time. And that was the sort of uber meaning that made me decide to stick with the Help Wanted title. I was just learning. Sort of at the end of it all, I just had something that was a solo record, just by the fact that I had done it mostly on my own, and that I had asked people to help, but even them, I would go to their house with my laptop. The best example of it is Flea. I went up to his house just with a laptop and some in and outs, and we went up to his bedroom, and he brought his trumpet, and he had a good mic. We plugged in the mic and he laid it on the carpet in his bedroom, and then he got on his knees and played like at an angle into the microphone on the floor. You know, that probably won't win me any awards in Mix magazine, but you know, it got it done. Because of the fact that I'm sort of an artist first and an engineer second, I really wanted to try using what most people could get and use as tools. And so I use Pro Tools LE and I have a MacBook. But lately, because some people said that Logic might be something worth investigating, so I've just recently loaded on Logic and started to tinker with that. I have a foot on each right now. What I might wind up doing is using both. This was really a process of experiment and discovery with all the technology and recording on my own and doing all the recording on my own. I'm sort of curious what the next music is going to be like. I'm interested in making more music. Yeah, so that's sort of the conceptual next step. More music.